There's so much dog hair in here, I can't even explain it to you, man. Ursula is shedding so hard that Kyla made me bring her with her to recording. Or bring her with me. Oh, I feel so bad for whoever comes in here on Monday. Okay, here we go. Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 179. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan and Big Urs, and today we're going to continue the arc of the good vibes by going back to the land of the rising sun for a round of bare knuckle showdown. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What's going down?
Whole ton is going down. We're going to return to our roots and take a trip to the land of the rising sun by having a Ryan versus Brando, ninjas versus samurais showdown right here on the show. We're going to thank some patrons. We're going to give away some super sweet prizes. We're going to talk about some brand new merch that just arrived at Casa del Brando. But before we do any of that, we have to thank our official sponsors, face-to-facegames.com. They're Canada's biggest magic store.
Very much so, and they pulled through for us. They sent us our charity playmats, the 2 meters or 6.6 feet playmats for giveaway that you saw in the CCO pre-show yesterday, and those are going to be available to one lucky Twitter or Facebook retweeter or sharer or friend tagger. We'll talk about that in a second, but before that, good vibe. Do you got one this week?
Could we say that 6.6, like 6 foot 6 inches, is approximately one Dwayne The Rock Johnson? So I think that's how tall he was.
I think he's 6'3".
Ah, damn it. We have to think of somebody who's awesome that's 6'6", because everybody will know who that is, because like 6'6" is so, like,
I think that Michael Jordan was 6'6".
Really? I thought he was like 100 feet tall. Honestly, I thought he was the Green Giant. He's just so big. Only 6'6", hey?
You know what? We're gonna go with that. Only 6'6". Yeah, he only has to duck like to fit through a door. That's
true. Yeah, he can't buy a regular sized car.
Yes.
He has a size 17 shoe.
Yeah. He gets Lamborghini and Ferrari to make him cars that are a little bit bigger because he can afford to XL them.
Can you imagine going to like Porsche and being, I want the Porsche 911 Turbo and I want that shit extra large.
Oh man, and Michael Jordan can do it. He was like the first professional athlete in the world to ever be like have a net worth of $1 billion or something.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first one.
And he played basketball with Bugs Bunny. That's probably the coolest thing he did.
Yeah, the movies and the merchandising deals with Nike and then branching off into like his own brand of Air Jordans. Yeah, none of that hurt.
All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to do good vibes. Is that what we were talking about?
Good vibes.
Okay, I had a couple. I'm going to go with, there's a magic related one and there's a personal one that I just want to send a quick shout out to, if that's okay.
Sure, do it.
Okay, this last week I paid off my very, very first student debt. Usually you come out of school with 2 around here. Yeah, there's like a provincial one and a national one. And I paid off my provincial student loan. And there were so many people that were so happy for me. I got so many messages being like, dude, that's so cool. That's so great. So that was just a really good feeling from me to be supported by so many people. And that was just neat. That's a cool vibe. Other thing, I was talking about it on the pre-show. I played some more Magic with our dudes Lenny and Max Crandell and Dan Kraus. Love those guys. I scumbagged all of them. I trashed them all night long. We drank some beers. And I'm looking so forward to getting back to the table with you and all the CCO dude bros and all the people in the EDH and M Play group real soon.
Oh, man. Me too. I'm looking forward to nothing more than either getting together at your house or Effie Smitty or Jesse's house or, like you say, F&M, the coach after EDH&M, which is what we call F&M for any new listeners because we play EDH. So awesome. It's going to be so great. We've got a new patron to thank from our local EDH&M community. We'll get to that in a second, but I've got 2 good vibes as well. One magic related, one sort of just kind of personally related. I was talking about one on the pre-show as well. We got together with my neighbors, and I know, like I said in the pre-show, not exactly physical social distancing protocol, but we stayed out in the yard and we drank a bunch of beer. My leg and hip was feeling good enough that we just like had a yard party, and the kids were like on their bikes. I'm lucky enough that my neighbors are all the same kind of ages as me and Rebecca, so we all kind of just drank some beer and were basic bitches and all tried White Claw. I didn't try any because I tried it before and I fucking hate it. And it was just fun. I ended up staying till like 2 a.m.
Dang.
Yeah, it didn't hurt that there was a temperature record broken. It was almost 30 degrees the other day. So
yeah, 28 degrees. That was an impressive day. Ursula hated it so much when we were out on our walk.
She still got her winter coat on.
Oh man, like dogs can't sweat except with like their little toe pads and their tongues. She was I thought she was gonna die when we got her home. I felt really bad.
That's it.
Oh man. Poor thing. She's laying here now just like wrapped up in a little ball in the corner. We have the AC on for her.
Yeah.
She's very hot.
Yeah. My magic related good vibe is all of the input that CCONation has given me via our Communist Calamax Cookout deck building channel on our Discord server. They've contributed, they've helped me do cuts, they've suggested ads, they've suggested alters that they would like to do for the deck because it's going to be 100% altered like I was talking about last week and on YouTube last week.
Right.
And the deck is coming together. I had a lot of stuff in there that I thought I wanted to play, but once I heard some of the reasoning for why it might not be good, or, this goes infinite with fucking everything. Like, if you want it to be a fun casual deck, maybe you cut that. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even notice that, like, Calamax and Ral, is it Conduit or whatever his name is, the Planeswalker? Like, if you copy an opponent's spell, like with one of our copy spells, we can just target our own copy with our copy, and then I have an infinitely large commander. Like, I didn't notice a lot of the very subtle interactions, and everybody on there has been really good at helping me with cuts, and the deck's coming along. It's all the way up to 24 lands now. So I need a couple more cuts, and then I think I'm gonna finalize like version 1 of the deck and start getting people to maybe just start doodling on basic lands, or if somebody has a really good idea for a card that I know is going to stay in the deck forever, maybe I'll get them to send me an altered copy, or I'll send them out maybe a foil one for them to just destroy and ruin. CCO Brando alter style.
Ooh, I got a few more of those I'm working on too.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? I sent you the list with names and addresses for everybody that you need from our new patrons that we have to shout out and nickname.
Ooh, I got that, and I'm pumped. All of them are things that I don't have in stock, so I'll get to do some fancy thinking.
Well, you know what? If you're going to be doing a lot more VEDH, virtual EDH, that is, I'll drive by your house and like I'll wrap a brick and those tokens. I'll wrap a brick and those tokens in this playmat that we're giving away, and I'll huck it through your front window. Kind of like if I was driving past Max Crandel's house.
Right.
And then you'll have the playmat that you could use on VEDH for everybody to see what it looks like, and you'll have the tokens, because I have the tokens, birds and wolves and just random, like there was a request for a satyr. I don't remember who requested that, but we'll get there.
I think I have some of those actually. And even if I don't, I have some of those really cool human tokens from what is it? No, I can't think of the name. The fairy tale place that we were just on. Eldraine. The Eldraine human tokens, it turns out, are very versatile and can be virtually anything I want them to be.
Yeah, just draw horns on them. Boom, satyr token.
But bend her knees backwards. Give her some little hairy pants, right? Give her a beer and a fucking ambrosia. I don't know what that is, but I draw one.
So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody seems to like those, and they are a personal little touch, a gift from us that we are happy to provide to our patrons, because they do help us with the bandwidth and the show storage and just keeping the virtual lights on, as it were, right? Because it starts to add up when we don't want to take any of the previous 178 episodes off of the internet.
That's the thing, hey? Or just like replay one of them. It's like, I don't want to do episode 180. Let's just re-air episode 4. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening anyway. Let's just keep putting out episodes. It'll be fine.
That's it. Well, you know what? Some people are listening, and we've got some new nicknames for them.
Uh-oh.
So, of course, the CCO nickname is a rite of passage for patrons. I don't know why anybody wants them, but big shout-out, big thank you, and big FU to Mike McLift.
McLift?
Yes. Excellent, hey?
Yeah, he sounds like he could either be a really jack dude like me, or hear me out, he could also be a really good bra because he provides a lot of Mick lift.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I want cam girl McLift.
I like that. Yeah, I did that. Cam girl McLift.
I will give coins.
I will tip Shamrocks or whatever the hell the fucking site uses. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, next shout out. And this guy already has a nickname, and we meant to, but we didn't actually mean to.
Oh.
5-color mono white Angel Aaron.
Oh, hell yeah. Welcome aboard, dude.
So he joins the Discord, and there's like middle fingers flying every which way because
I love that.
Yeah, that's how everybody says hello in the Discord. And like within 1 minute, his next post is like, "Hey, great to be here," and he already changed his nickname on to Discord to 5-color mono white Angel Aaron. So it's great to have you. He wants an altar from me or a Brando altar once we get all back together at our LGS and do the EDH and go out for beers. And we're going to meet up with him real soon once the province gets back open.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Oh, man, good vibe thing. I should tell the story. I tell stories all the time about all the loons that call in, hey? Like all the kooks, and they think, my God, the country's falling apart. The other day, I had a call from this. He was so angry, this old man. He was so pissed off because with the shutdown of everything, of course, a lot of elective non-life-saving surgeries have been canceled, of course, right?
Yep.
So, and he's so mad because his wife can't get her hip operated on, and it's like she's in so much pain, and they're leaving it shut down, and they're opening up massage parlors and barber shops and all this crap, and he's so effing pissed off. And I'm like, hey man, like the surgeries restart on Thursday. That man was so happy, I think he was crying.
He didn't know.
Well, he didn't know, and he was so excited to, like, he could, when he saw his wife again, he was gonna tell her, hey, your surgery's back on, you're not gonna be in pain anymore. And he was so effing happy. I made that guy's like entire year.
Oh,
it was so cool. Yeah, like it was so nice to hear somebody just be that happy. So that was just, there's a good vibe too.
Good vibes for all, even the elderly in CCONation.
Right?
Yeah. We truly aren't Crippled Up Hip Podcast anymore.
Yeah, at least one of us isn't got a crippled up hip anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so continue with the nicknames.
Yeah, we went through a couple. We went with Mike McLift, 5-color Angel Aaron. We've got a returning patron, Benedict Egg Roll. He came back.
Oh, thank you for coming back.
Patrick Zaragoza, Brandon Hunter increased their Patreon pledges.
Yeah, we appreciate that very much.
Very much so. And final one, just from this morning. I'm like, super easy name to say, but I'm sure I'm going to say it wrong. Patton Will. Or Patton Willie. I want to say like Wiley Patone.
Nah, man. Patting his willy.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to make it sound like Wile E. Coyote or like Wiley Patone. He's like real like New Mexican tequila smuggler, but patting Willie.
Yeah, patting Willie. That sounds more like spanking monkey, and we all know what that means. And if you don't Google it.
Do not Google anything that we say.
That we say ever, yeah.
So huge thank you. Welcome aboard. FU to all the patrons. I don't know why anybody wants those nicknames, but they are fun for us.
We have a good time with it. That's a thing.
That's it. So last kind of good vibe thing before we get to our double decker, our upper double decker.
No,
don't
upper
Google that.
decker.
Don't Google
don't.
it.
One day I'll tell the upper decker story. It's a good one.
Yeah, almost as good as crapping somebody else's pants.
Yes, it's right up there. It's very good.
Oh man, CCO Classics, crapping other people's pants cookout podcast. We've got some new merch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you don't have it in your hand. You didn't show it on the pre-show, but I probably did an overlay of like the digitized version of it. These are going to be up on commandercookout.com/store. We've got some brand new CCO coasters.
Okay, now we have to say, I've been racking my brains because we got to brand stuff. That's very important. Okay, so how do you like CCOsters?
Oh yes.
Ah?
Oh, I was just gonna go to the classic coaster cookout.
But here we can't do that for everything, or it won't stand out. So CC Oasters.
You're going to get some CC Oasters. Now, some of them will be for sale in sets of 4, so you and your pod can not damage the surface of your table like we do at Brando's house.
Everybody uses a coaster at Brando's house.
And some of them will be for future giveaways because they're just a fun little thing that is and I'll just say it, very on brand for us because we like to drink, we like to share drinks. I'm notoriously bad for sharing drinks. Rebecca gives me hell whenever I buy my friends drinks at the bar. Not that we go to the bar anymore, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
So they're fun. They're, again, just a nice little tribute to anybody who wants them, and they're a great way to support the show. So we're happy to give those to everybody or get those to everybody, and they'll be available as soon as I can get them in my hands so I can actually see them to take maybe some pictures of some drinks and get them up on the website.
Cool. I mean, I can use them during stream, or I can throw some pictures up as well.
Oh, yeah. No clothes, just coasters where, like, your boobs would be.
There it is.
Yes, and other parts too, but you might need 3 or 4 of them stacked, like, vertically to...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're only 4 inches by 4 inches, so you might need at least 2.
4 or 5, probably, yeah. Depending on how cold it is outside.
Yeah. So, getting into it, we've got 2 decks, and these were submitted by our creative team on the Discord channel. These are the toppest of tier patrons, T. Coates and Big Dick Jones. I told everybody that we're looking for decks that are part of the Arc of Good Vibes, and I shit you not, within 30 seconds of each other, we've got a ninja deck that was submitted and a samurai deck that was submitted, and it was like, boom, boom. I was like, oh my god, there's like ninjas versus samurais. It's like 1700s Japan. We have to do it. So
and here we are, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that we thought you would take the ninja deck, and there's sort of a loose Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme to it.
Loose? Are you kidding me? Loose? It is not loose, Ryan. It is so over the top, in your face. If I didn't tell you it was a Ninja Turtle deck, people would fucking figure it out immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty much Turtle Tribal with ninjutsu cards.
That's what more do you want?
And I am taking the Jeskai Samurai deck that is very Jeskai stapley because samurais are actually really bad creatures, but there is an amount of tension that I think would be present when you play the deck, like, oh, if I block, all my blockers will die because Bushido. But if I don't block, like, I'll
just take one because all the creatures suck.
Well, there's a whole bunch of damage doublers, right?
That's true. They play all of the damage doublers.
The only thing that I think the deck is missing, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit right now, is like a Vidalcan Ori or a Leyline of Anticipation to increase the tension. Like, ooh, if I don't block, he could just like flash in a damage doubler, and I'm dead. So that would be my suggestion for the deck.
That's a thing.
If you want to look at them right now, like, do you want which one do you want to start with?
You can go first. We'll save best for last.
Okay, so I have the Jeskai Samurai deck, and these are a little bit going to be just mini deck techs to kind of give you an overview. And I, over the last year, I've said on the pre-show yesterday, have taken a liking to bad decks. I like piloting decks that have very big flaws built into them and trying to pilot them to a victory. It makes me feel good, smart, it's fun, and again, it's usually high tension. So this deck was right up my alley.
And if you go down into the show notes and you'll see a link to this deck, the glaring hole in it, you'll be able to see, is the 23 cards that are listed under the word creatures.
10 of those creatures have the mechanic Bushido.
Oh my god.
You'll recognize that from the Kamigawa block.
So you already know that it's awesome.
Yeah. You know what? Completely coincidentally, I just covered Bushido and other mechanics on Commander ad Populum. So if you want to hear more about it, you can go there. Bushido essentially is Bushido and then a number. And if the creature with Bushido is blocked or blocks, it gets plus number. In most cases, +1 or +2, right? Bushido 1 or Bushido 2. So it's got a bunch of crap with fucking like that ability. Such format all-stars like Devoted Retainer, Bushido 1.
Ooh.
Araba Moth Rider, Battle Mad Ronin, Konda's Hatamoto. Great stuff.
Are they talking about the guy or the hat?
Konda's hat. Hatamoto. It's a motorbike hat. The hat is a motorbike.
Oh, neat.
So
that's pretty cool. It's like a transformer.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it could be a vehicle as well. He should have Crew 1 as well as Bushido 1.
If he was only printed these days, hey?
Yeah, exactly. And he costs less mana.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
10 Bushido Samurai creatures, 4 lords, 2 of which you can, like, Adaptive Automaton and the...
Metallic Mimic.
Yeah, that you can choose which creature it's a lord for. There's an Elish Norn. So this is, like, an early game 1, 2, 3 drop, start attacking type deck. And then it's got various archetypes, like the archetype of gives all your creatures flying, archetype of give all of your creatures first strike to make your attackers very good. It's got Wonder and it's got Anger. Those are the incarnations. If they're in your graveyard, you control a basic. Your creatures have haste or flying.
Right.
And then a bunch of damage doubling effects. And that is where the tension comes in, where it's like, oh, he's got, he's representing maybe 10 or 12 power on the board and I'm at 20. Does he have a damage doubler in his hand? Am I going to die next turn if I attack somebody else? Like, do I got to leave blockers open? That's the kind of deck and magic that I like. Like, you're an idiot. You tapped out, no creatures, or you left one open. I'm going to remove it because I'm playing Jeskai, and then I'm going to kill you with my damage doubler.
And when you say damage doubler, you mean Furnace of Wrath, Dictate of the Twin Gods, and Rage Reflection.
Correct.
Yeah. Those are enchantments for some number of red and another number. Double all damage dealt 2 things.
Yeah, that's right. We've got other things like there's an Erois God of Victory. He's a 4/7 god from original Theros. White red 2. Indestructible. Your devotion to white and red has to be 7 or else it's not a creature, blah, blah, blah. Creatures you control have menace. That's another tension adding card.
What does that mean again?
I knew you were going to ask. It makes your creatures all have to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. So if you're alpha striking and they only have like three blockers, maybe if they could distribute 3 blockers to 3 of my attackers, they would be fine. But because 2 of their creatures have to block 1 of mine and then the other one can't block at all because all my stuff has menace, that's going to let me alpha strike in. And if that wasn't enough, you also prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures I control. Yes, it's an attacky Boros commander card, but this one does allow us to alpha strike, right?
This is a really good reason when you were saying Vidalcan Orrery earlier. If you were to play that in a deck like this, once your creatures are attacking, you could then play your Blasphemous Act or your Chain Reaction or your Earthquake if you're running those at instant speed to wipe out everybody else's stuff, and since your dudes are attacking, they won't take any damage.
That's right. It prevents all the damage. That's excellent.
That's a pretty niche situation, but I mean, for the times where it works, to play cards you're gonna play anyway, that's a good situation to be in.
Yeah, for the cards you're gonna play anyways. And the other thing is like, okay, I'm jammed all these bad cards together, but if I crafted a scenario in game through learning like the optimal lines or the optimal way to play a pile of fucking trash, you're still going to win games because you're going to be like, oh yeah, attack, prevent all the damage to my guys. You can block, my guys will get bigger and kill your guys, or I'll just Blasphemous Act anyways if you're running the instant speed enabling cards. So other than that, there are a whole bunch of, like you said in the pre-show or before the show, Jeskai staples. There's Path to Exile, Swan Song, Swords to Plowshares, Boros Charm, Counterspell, Rift, Negate, Chaos Warp, stuff like that. The good stuff that is going to keep the way clear and make it really challenging for your opponents to block, given that our creatures, our samurais, all have Bushido. So even if they did have something like one of your Ninja Turtles that's got a high toughness, when you block my Bushido guy, it's going to get big and kill your blocker anyways. So it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. Of course, playing a coat of arms too, so that's a strike against it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, damn it! I just made an order online and I forgot a coat of arms. I want to buy one just to troll you.
Like you just want to like get an order in the mail and pull the coat of arms out of it and say, "Hey, I spent $5 on this." Wait, hang on, I spent $10 on this.
Oh no!
Just to spite me.
No! I want to kill you with it.
Good luck.
Not killing anybody with it.
Yeah, I play tribal all the time, dude. I will definitely have bigger creatures than you.
That's excellent. So, did we talk about the worst card in the deck? The card that is so bad that only a CCO deck would play it. So bad,
oh my God,
that it isn't even in the creature section.
Even though it is a creature in both of its forms.
Give it a read.
Bushi Tenderfoot, quite possibly one of the worst cards I've ever seen in my life, is a 1/1 for 1 white with, whenever a creature dealt damage by Bushi Tenderfoot this turn is put into a graveyard, flip it over, and then it flips into a double striking Bushido 2/3/4. But a 1/1 has to kill a creature in fighting. So you have to make it big enough, and then have it not get blocked by something that isn't either going to kill it or die when it kills it. It's the most outrageous card I've ever. It sucks so much.
I was like, well, it's got Bushido, so if it blocks, it's fine. And you're like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's terrible.
Man, I won't ever be able to look at this card without laughing. It flips into Kenzo the Hard-Hearted.
Right.
It sounds like something dirty.
Because I'm sure that's ever happened, ever.
What if I cast Elishnorn and then attacked with this, and you blocked instead of taking 3, and then you were like, before damage, kill your Elishnorn. Your guy fucking dies. Oh man, every time. I'll kill the thing that I was gonna kill because I wanted to kill it anyways in killing Elishnorn, and just by the by, your Bushi Tenderfoot dies.
Yeah, and to prove a point, I'm also gonna kill this shitty creature.
So good.
Oh, that's so good. That's so awesome.
Instead of that, instead of blocking and killing it, I'll block it with my O2. Oh man. So,
oh, no.
Listen, we rag on the deck, but like I said, it does play a lot of high power cards in those Jeskai staples, Elish Norns and what have you, and it does play an underutilized tribe. Whether the tribe is good or not is irrelevant. It felt like a very CCO deck, and I'm glad that Big Dick Jones submitted it.
And, I mean, to be fair, Bushido is a neat ability. It's not powerful, really, as some other abilities are powerful, but it's cool. And it does have some neat little hidden gems that we've seen a couple of times, but not very often, and stuff like Angel's Trumpet.
Yep.
Or Goblin War Drums is really cool. Invasion Plans is a creature or a card that you don't see super often. So there's some neat stuff in here that you don't often see. Most of it, of course, is kind of Boros attack stuff, but it's still cool.
Yep. And you know what I like about a deck like this is if you ever did get tired of the samurai tribe or gimmick or wanted to upgrade the power level, you could change samurais into pick your tribe in...
Yeah, literally anything else.
Yeah. And you'd still have the things like Coat of Arms and Vanquisher's Banner and, the Jeskai staples that I was talking about. You'd still have a bunch of the core of the deck, the Metallic Mimic and the Adaptive Automaton, and you could just switch all the samurais out and put humans in or put soldiers or goblins or angels. All of those tribes would fit directly into this scheme that he's got built.
Absolutely. Other cool creatures, real quick. I've seen them before, but never really thought about them. And check this out. They're creatures with samurai, or they're samurais with Bushido, and they're good. So check this out. There's a Samurai of the Pale Curtain. That's a cool hate bear.
Oh yeah. I had that on my show notes. It's rest in peace, but a samurai.
Yeah, it's a 2/2 for 2. Permanents going to the graveyard are in the exile zone instead. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And the other one is, I mean, it's kind of only good in this deck, but there are ways around this. In Kintaro the Smiling Cat, it's a 2/1 for white 1, has Bushido 1, and you can pay X rather than pay the mana cost of Samurai spells, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. So it mana fixes you in white. And if you have a way of turning all of your other creatures in your hand into Samurais, then you can maybe get around playing some, a funky mana base or something. Let's say you wanted to play 5-color angels, and if you could turn all your angels into Samurais, you could use Kintaro to play them.
Very much so. And I was just looking at Arcane Adaptation to see if that affected creature spells in our hand, but it doesn't. It's just creature types in play that are the chosen creature type. So everything, you can choose everything to become Samurai. So even your Elish Norn would become a Samurai to get buffed from your adaptive automaton and stuff. So I like it.
Sure, it's neat. It's cool. So there's the Samurai deck.
And the final thing about the deck, because we didn't actually say it, and this is the jankiest, most CCO thing I've ever seen, the commander of this deck to make it Jeskai, not even a fucking Samurai.
Yeah. Well, it's because he wanted blue, right?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going to find a Jeskai Samurai? Even though that rhymes and sounds like a really cool, like, baby metal-esque Eastern rock band.
Jeskai Samurai Wizards, make it happen. The commander is Shu Yun the Silent Tempest. He's a human monk, 3/2 for blue 2. He's got prowess, so the 17 spells and artifacts and stuff are going to make him big. And whenever you cast a non-creature, you can pay Boros Hybrid. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. That's important. When you have something that is big or something that has trample or flying or whatever, it's target creature. And normally Shu Yun reserves that ability to pump himself, but it is target creature. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, he's kind of a backup plan for the deck too. Like, you can just sneak in with him and win the game.
Oh yeah, especially because you're playing
real thing.
You're playing aggravated assault to double combat steps.
Like, there's enough shit in here where you could get Shu Yun in to do 15 or 100 damage. You could do it.
Oh yeah, I love 15 or 100 damage.
They're basically the same number, really.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's Samurais. What do you got?
I got ninjas, Ryan, and I'm going to read my commanders right away. I have Sidar Kondo of Jamura, a 2/5 for green-white 2 with flanking, so Oppo Bushido, get ruined.
It kind of is.
Yeah. It's if your creature blocks, they get -1/-1 for whatever the flanking. Anyway, and it says creatures your opponents control without flying or reach can't block creatures with power 2 or less. It also has partner, and the partner in this case is Silas Wren, Seeker Adept, which is a 2/2 for blue-black 1 with Death Touch. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you choose a artifact card in your graveyard and return it. Oh, you could play it this turn.
Yeah, so
very cool.
Yeah, I very much like the commander selection. It lets T-Coats lean into the ninja colors and the turtle colors, because turtles come in green and blue and ninjas come in blue and black. Specifically, we've got 13 turtles and a Doran the Siege Tower just in case.
Okay, now the turtles are as follows. I wrote this down so I could just do it real quick, okay? Just so we all can get it. There's Crush Gamura, the Giant Sea Turtle, Grandmaster Ogwe, Howard, Camobidas, the Lion Turtle, Morla, Pong Pagong, Shelly, Tardy Turtle, Terraspin, Toka, Tortoise John, and Tuck.
What?
Yep. Because all the turtles are the fucking same, and it doesn't matter if I got their names right, Ryan.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Those were all literary turtles. All of those turtles are from, like, TV and books and stuff.
What about, like, the actual Ninja Turtles?
Well, that would be too obvious.
Oh, you could reserve Ninja Turtle names for some of the ninjas.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what?
The point is, turtles are all creatures that are mildly well-costed, that have a power of 1 or 2 or 0, and then a toughness of 4 or 5 or 6. And then they have some kind of an ability, most of them. But the idea is they're in here because they're unblockable unless your opponents have creatures with flying or reach. And they deal damage equal to their toughness because of things like Doran or Arcane. Assault Formation is another one. Or what's the other one? Is it High Alert is the other one, where your creatures will deal damage equal to their ass instead of their fist.
Ass breathing or ass damage.
Yes.
So when I saw the link and when I clicked on it, I was like, okay, Ninja Turtle theme. Like, there's going to be like a 1-to-1 comparison. This card is Michelangelo. This card is Donatello. That's what I thought, right? Because usually when people send us theme decks, they'll give us like a 700-mile long novel of this is this card, this is this card, this is this card. And typically we don't feature those very often. But with this deck, I was surprised to see, just as an example, Armored Whirl Turtle, right? And it's like, that's a 5/5 for 3 when you have Doran the Siege Tower. It's unblockable if you have your commander, Sidar Kondo of Jamora. So the deck actually has like clever and good includes to the tune of 13 turtles. And then if your creatures are unblockable, you can flash in or ninjutsu in one or more of the 12 ninjas that are in here.
Ninjas are pretty good, and they all have some kind of a hit you, get wrecked ability, like draw a card, or I think there's one that kills a non-black creature. They're all pretty good. We're running a bunch of them. There's also the Commander Ninjutsu one, right? Yuriko? I think we're running all the Commander / Modern Horizons ones?
Yep.
Got Yuriko the Tiger's Shadow. It has Commander Ninjutsu, which doesn't matter. Whenever any ninja deals damage to a player, you reveal the top card of your library, put it into your hand, and each opponent loses life equal to its converted mana cost. He didn't lean too hard into that, but that's some shit. It'll 3 you a bunch of times.
Yeah, it'll do extra damage, right? Which is important if you're spreading out your attacks across all players to make everybody's life total slowly go down till sometime you can Alpha Strike, right? And there's a ton of card draw in here with some of the creatures that hit you, or things like Bident of Thassa, Coastal Piracy. I'm sure the new one from Ikoria that has cycling, I'm sure it'll go in here as well, just to keep the engine running, right?
I feel like Ikoria has a lot more, like, it has a lot to add to this deck, including, and this is big time, Ryan, it includes adding mutants to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle deck. Because we're in mutate colors. And I play, like, as much as I dump on Arena, and I don't really like Arena or Standard, I do play a mutate deck on there that's green and blue. And let me tell you, if you can bounce your mutated monstrosity back into your hand, and you get all 5 of the creatures in that pile back in your hand, you get to play them all again, and mutate them all again, and get all those benefits over again. The other day I was playing a guy, he had a mono blue deck, and all he had for removal was bounce, like unsummon and stuff. And,
get wrecked.
Oh, dude, it was heinous. Like, I'd attack him with like I had the, what's it called? It's Essence Symbiote. That's the name. It's a 2/2 that whenever you mutate a creature, the creature gets a +1/+1 counter, and you gain 2 life. So I was attacking with like a 9/10 or whatever the hell the creature was, and he unsummoned it, and then I just played it again. And then I made it have flying and draw a card. And then I made it still have flying, draw me another card, get a land. And then it drew another card and drew me a land. And what did it do after that? Made a 3/3. And then when I evolved it again, it got bigger and bigger. I'm gaining life. And the guy just eventually scooped because he couldn't handle all of my fucking value. So the point is, add mutants. You add a Dreamtail Huron you could put in here. You could put Cub Wardens. You can like make more life-linking cats. You could put Gemrazor in to kill artifacts and enchantments. You could put a Migratory Greathorn to make your ramp better. You can play Pouncing Shore Shark, so you can say you play Pouncing Shore Shark.
And there were shark bad guys in Ninja Turtles, wasn't there?
I sure hope so.
I'm thinking of Street Sharks, and they were good guys.
There is a shark. I can't think of his damn name though. He was even in the fighting game, but he's a real creature. He is a real Ninja Turtle creature. At
CCO Brando on Twitter when you know that name.
Yes. I feel bad that I don't know it. I should know
No,
it.
that's fine. That's fine. You sound like a pro when you actually play Standard and know the names of all the cards.
Yeah, well, it's the deck I play, so I know some of the dudes. But like, you could throw them in there pretty easy. You just maybe, I mean, when we were talking before the show, like you could just cut black, I guess, or you could cut out some of the value artifact package that we have in here to take advantage of Silas Wren. Like we're playing all the baubles and all of the spell bombs and stuff, so that you can recycle them with your Silas Wren. Like we have an Executioner's capsule, for an example. It's an artifact for 1, has black 1 tap, sack it, destroy a non-black creature, and then you can just do that and get it back with Silas. So there's those recyclable artifact value things, and you could just...
Yeah, that was actually one of my notes with Silas in particular. He gives you access to blue and black, which we need. We need blue at least, so if we did cut him, we'd see maybe another blue, including Partner Commander. But the actual suite of 16 artifacts in the deck pair very nicely and very cleverly with Silas, because he gets things back that are small, right?
Yeah, and they draw you cards, and they do all sorts of stuff. There's an Aether Spell Bomb, there's a...
Which bounces a creature, right? Yep. So that could even play into your mutate thing. You could sack it to draw a card or sack it to bounce a creature. There's, instead of the 3 mana artifacts that give you mana of any color, he's playing all of the talismans of curiosity, dominance, hierarchy, talisman of progress, resilience, right? Because they're 2 mana ones that Silas Wren can get back. Wayfarer's Bauble is another one. And then, like you mentioned, Executioners and Dispeller's Capsules.
I'm surprised that we don't see the talismans more often. Even I don't play them.
Silas Wren just gets back any artifact card from your graveyard, right?
Oh, yeah, you can get back anything you want. It doesn't have to be low cost. It just happens
I thought it was
to be
2 or less.
Well, you get to keep more mana up if you play things that are low.
Yeah, I suppose.
And I mean, talismans are just faster than playing things that cost 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and you know what? The talismans are not to be trifled with. They are some of the most oft-included mana rocks on EDHrec.com. Nobody... or in our own personal EDH group, none of us play a high number of them. I've got a couple decks that play 1 or 2 if I needed like that 8th or that 10th mana rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like this deck, this 3-color deck, it is common to see 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or like every single one in a 4 or 5-color deck that you can play. It is common to see that in decks.
We are playing 6 of them.
Yeah.
And you could just cut some of them and put mutants in. Fuck
and
yeah.
an arcane signet, which is technically the same thing except better.
Yeah, it's just better in every way.
Yeah.
In every conceivable way, it's just a better card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. So I mean, so what I'm saying is, you have sweet unblockable Ninja Turtles that hit you with their asses, and you could pair those with fucking sweet mutants that give you nothing but value and work with your dope ass ninjas, and that's probably why ninjas are better than samurai. That's the moral of this story, right?
Yeah, so we both did sort of a mini deck tech. I offered that my deck shell could be switched out from samurais to angels or humans or goblins, or name your tribe of choice in the Jeskai colors. You offered that we could switch out maybe some of the turtles or artifacts.
No, leave
or
the turtles.
Commander even.
No, leave the turtles. Turtles
leave
have
the
to
turtle.
stay.
Oh yeah, I guess if it's a Ninja Turtle deck, you got to leave them. But if you switched out Silas for another blue, including Partner Commander, that allowed you to cut some of our artifact value stuff, we could play mutants for value. We want to know now at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando, or on Facebook. I'll post the questions or the polls there as well. Who did it better? Who wore it better? Brando's Ninja Turtles or my samurai, whatever samurais wear?
Let me throw one more thing into the mix. Let me just throw it in. I'm gonna next level myself.
Sure.
So we got turtles, we got ninjas. We're gonna add mutants. Okay. If you were on the really long strategy and you were totally 100% committed to the idea of making a TMNT deck, you could go out, get your significant other, or if you are the girl, you get yourself knocked up, have a kid, wait 13 years, and then get them to play this deck, and then it would be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck. The possibilities for this deck are limitless. I'm just saying. The flavor is real.
Oh, man. If I build this deck now, in 11 years, I only have to wait 11 years.
Oh, shit.
My kid can do it.
There it is.
Oh man.
What are you waiting for, Ryan?
I gotta buy this. Buy it. Buy.
Add to cart. Buy now.
Man. Oh man, that is so god dang excellent. So watch the Facebook page and watch the Twitter pages for the polls. Of course, like them and share them. That helps the show grow. It helps get as many people involved as possible, and it is about spreading the good vibes. And we thought that when these two decks came in, bang bang, in the creative channel, and then when we pitted them head to head, and we thought, is it too gimmicky? Is it fun? Is it funny? We thought, oh fuck yeah, it is, because it's just like the samurais are so bad. And the Ninja Turtle theme is so funny, and they're just great. I love that we did them.
Yeah, you can't look at decks like this and not think, oh man, this is cool. You can't, because that's what EDH is all about. It's like somebody going out and they have an idea and they build it and they put it down, and it's awesome. I don't know how good they perform in the wild, and I don't even care, because they're fun, and that's the point.
Very reminiscent of the format, and when we are communicating with each other pre-game or mid-game, in between games, like, hey, this is my Samurai Tribal deck, or this is my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck, and you can get them altered, or you can just like go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stickers and stick them on your cards.
Yeah,
right? Like,
because those turtles are 4 cents. You might as well.
Yeah. Well, isn't there one from Legends?
I don't know. It's probably 4 cents anyway, even if it is from fucking Legends. Let's take a look.
That is Giant Turtle from Legends. It is a
quarter.
Yeah, it's 25 cents, and it's a 2/4 for green 1. Giant Turtle may not attack if it is attacked during your last turn.
Oh man.
It just can't attack. Like, it doesn't stay tapped. It doesn't get like a fucking dive down counter. It just no. So it attacked last turn. Sorry, it can't attack this turn.
It's just tired. It can't do it.
Yeah. You know what I love about this deck? I love that all of the turtle arts, they all have those big snapping kind of hooked turtle beaks, and they look like they're kind of smiling. or they just look like miserable old assholes.
They really do.
Get off my lawn.
You give them little shotguns and little rocking chairs. Old age mutant Ninja
there's
Turtles.
A mirror entity in here. Mirror entity. You can alpha strike with turtles.
Of course there's a mirror entity, Ryan. You swing in with all your unblockable dudes because their powers are 2 or whatever, and then you make all their powers to fucking 10, and then you just win.
Yes, or draw 500 cards because you're also playing Edric Spy, Master of Trest.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Oh god. Yeah, I think that this deck could be pretty potent. And you know what? You mentioned that the one turtle was a quarter. These decks came in at the same time. They almost came in to the exact same budget. Almost exactly.
Yeah, they're within what? Like, they're within $6, I think, right?
Yes, just less than $6. One is $379. The other is $385 and change in both scenarios. Yeah. And I think you could get those decks down to very affordable prices, not because people would give you cards in these decks. There is some very niche stuff that like people wouldn't just have lying around, but like for the ninjas, you could cut an Assassin's Trophy. You could cut a couple of those talismans. You could cut like a City of Brass, a Prismatic Vista. All great cards, and if you have them, play them. But if you don't want to spend, the $15 here, the $25 there, or the $6 or $8 that the old Mirrodin talismans are, you could cut it and get that deck down to $300.
Oh, you get way lower than that. You just play a less refined mana base. Legit, dude. You could get this down to very, very little.
Yeah, and the Rift, the fetch lands, and a few like $8 to $10 cards from the Samurai deck could be cut. Like, there's a Godsend in there. It's like $9. Do you need that exact equipment for your Samurai deck? Like, you could just get the Bushido 1 equipment from Kamigawa block, and it's both on theme and going to give +1 when they're blocked. Right, and it's going to do kind of the same thing.
And if you're playing Godsend, it ruins the Bushido, because then you're just removing stuff from the game and you're not killing them with the Bushido. You're taking away your lousy creature's only upside. Why would you do that to them?
Oh man, yeah. So both decks could be made very affordable, and they looked like they would be a ton of fun. And I would want nothing more than to sit down like you and I and T Coates and Big Dick Jones at a Magic Fest in the future, whatever that means or looks like, and just like jam jank tribal. We'd be JJT podcast.
Hell yeah, I am there. I am there for it. I have shitty elementals. I got 2 bad cats. Oh, I'm ready, baby. I am ready.
Oh, what is my jank tribal deck? Oh, it would have to be Mistform Ultimus.
I don't know, man. That's a pretty good
It's everything
deck.
tribal and nothing tribal.
That's true, but it's pretty good. I don't know how jank it is. Nah, it's
Yeah.
still pretty jank. It's not.
Pretty jank.
Yeah, it's all foil except for the one pimp dark misprint Griffin Canyon. Hey.
Oh, fuck.
Which you
yeah,
will
if
never
anybody's
own,
got
by the way, because you had better get that
Listen.
shit while we're on lockdown, because the instant the game starts again, you will never get that card as long as I'm alive.
CCONation, if anybody has a dark, misprinted Griffin Canyon from the Visions expansion, get at me. I need it.
Get at me and send it to me, because
No.
I promise you it will be way funnier if I have it and Ryan doesn't.
Oh, man, that would be just the fucking end of my life. I have to clarify, too, because every time I say a dark misprinted one, everybody thinks it's from the dark, and they're like, I can't find the card that you're talking about. When I say dark misprinted, what I mean is the sheet from Visions, like the rare sheet when it was being printed, got a double layer of black ink printed onto the card, so it's darker. It's misprinted, darker, but it's from the Visions expansion from 1996 or 7.
And they're pretty noticeable. Like, they're not black, but you can tell. Like, if you hold it up next to another card of the time, you can tell this is those cards. You can see
You can
it.
tell on the black cards, like a Vampiric Tutor, for example, had this misprinting. They're about $400 or $450, and they are almost all black. And gold cards, like the old multicolored card frame, looks very dark. So dark misprinted Visions Griffin Canyon. I fucking need one, okay? Get at me.
We'll find one. Now that now that there haven't been any MFs for a while, I'll bet you the vendors are just going to be chomping at the bit to sell all their weird oddity shit. Being like, man, I don't want to get stuck with any of this ever again.
Oh man, I know. I paid some chump fucking $1 for this card. Now I can't sell it for $15. I'm sitting on too much inventory.
We laugh, but you know somebody's saying that, right? You know they are.
Oh yeah. Well, I need that person to post it online somewhere.
No, they'll only sell it in person. It's like I want to see the eyes of the scumbag that gives me $15 for this thing I paid $1 for.
Oh man,
Yeah, people like that are sick.
That's like everybody, isn't it?
Well, wouldn't you? I kind of want to see that. Yeah, man, that's a thing.
Yeah. So I guess a couple final things here before we get out of here. Big thanks to Big Dick Jones and T Coates from the creative channel on our Discord for submitting the decks. Ton of fun. We had fun. I had fun looking at them. Makes me reminisce from back in the day when I'd play my jank tribal Mistform. You've got jank. We play against 5-color mono white Angel Aaron's jank 5-color mono white deck. Like it makes me think of F&Ms and playing with friends. And FU Aiden's got that jank ass red dragon deck that just like never wins because he either has no mana or only mountains.
Yeah.
Right? Like it
Oh, man.
they're lots of fun. Tribal's always fun to talk about and to play and to pit against each other. Don't forget to check out the Facebook and Twitter feeds for the poll. Whose deck is the winner, mine or Brando's? Don't forget to like, tag, retweet, or share for your chance to win the FU Cancel that we showed on the pre-show yesterday, and of course the social distancing charity playmat from Face to Face Games. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the show, Canada's biggest Magic store. Final thoughts of the day?
I think the final thought of the day has been made quite a few times. The decks are just fun, and Magic is supposed to be fun. And even if you can't get together with your friends and play stuff like this, it's still good to have it. And we're hoping that both of these decks inspired you to kind of flex your muscles while you're in quarantine and build something that maybe isn't as tuned or as awesome as you think maybe EDH decks need to be these days. Because these aren't high-powered killing machines. They're just for fun. And in the end of the day, I think that's what the game should be. That's what CCONation's all about. That's what I think Commanders should be all about. And if you're playing to win, that's fine. But I think if you're playing to have fun, you're going to win every time anyway.
Ooh, yeah. And you know what? They just banned high-power killing machines in our country anyways. You probably have heard all about it from everybody calling in the radio station.
Yes, I have heard about that, actually, believe it or not. But that's bad stuff, Ron. We want to talk about good stuff, and good stuff is happening right here on Commander Cookout Podcast, and we are going to keep the good vibes going next week when we're back again for another super jank deck on another episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!